Did you know that it actually does matter if you use someone's correct name and pronouns? Studies have shown that when adolescents have people across any setting, home, school, friends, use their chosen pronoun, they have better mental health outcomes. So what do parents need to know about pronouns? I'm Dr. Angela Cade Gepford. I'm the medical director of the Gender Health Program here at Children's Minnesota, and I use they, them pronouns. So what is a pronoun? Well, we all have them. We all use pronouns. We all refer to each other with some kind of pronoun, usually she or he, sometimes they or them, or sometimes new pronouns that you might not have heard of. Using someone's pronoun is a way to let them know that you see them, that you understand them, and that you're going to refer to them in the way that they want to be seen. So if your child or teenager shares with you that they would like to try using a different pronoun, it would be a good idea to try it. It could be hard. Maybe you've never known anyone that's used they, them pronouns before. You may have a child that you've always called by she or he, and now they're asking you to call them the opposite pronoun.
What did you say?
I'm Dr. Angela Cade Gepford. I'm the medical director of the Gender Health Program here at Children's Minnesota, and I use they, them pronouns.
You're not a doctor. You're a big, fat, curly-headed fuck.
Now, this pretty much goes without saying, but my advice is if you ever walk into a doctor's office and the doctor starts talking about pronouns, you turn around and leave immediately and go find yourself a new doctor. Anyway, welcome back. Thank you guys so much for joining me. So I have a very quick and, yes, very crazy clown world update for you guys today. And as usual, we have, well, very little time to waste. So let's get into it. Now, if you place your attention on the screen for a moment. So this is a throwback picture that I put in a video about a year or so ago, but I saw it making its rounds on the interwebs again and figured I would share it for those of you that haven't seen it yet. So here we have a pinkish purple-haired fellow wearing a black Trans Lives Matter jersey. So there's that.
He looks like a fucking loser.
All right, let's keep it moving with today's Hollywood celebrity establishment shill. So here we have Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who I'm sure you all know played Elaine on Seinfeld. And apparently she saw a speech given by Carmelo Harris and her vice president pick, Tim Walz of Minnesota, and here is her response. Roll it.
Hey, I just watched those speeches in Philly from Vice President Harris and Governor Walz, and I am psyched!
Because she's an idiot. Or she's insane.
This whole psyop is getting ridiculous, don't you think? I mean, nobody is psyched to hear Carmelo Harris and Tim Walz speak. Unless you're a communist. I mean, here's what Tim Walz thinks of our First Amendment right to free speech. Roll it.
I think we need to push back on this. There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
No offense, but you are a stupid asshole.
So a lot of people, including Joy Reid, thought that Carmelo Harris was going to choose Senator Mark Kelly out of Pennsylvania as her running mate, which would have been the logical choice. The guy used to be an astronaut, but she went with Tim Walz. Anyway, Joy Reid's blatant racism isn't even shocking anymore. Roll it.
Got to be honest and keep it real. This is not the pick that I expected that she would make. It did come down to the final three, as we understand it, and I thought she would go astronaut. Keeping it real, he to me would have been the safest, most conventionally safe pick. White, super white, like mayonnaise sandwich on Wonder Bread, right? From a border state, he could have made a strong argument for her.
What the hell did you just say?
White, super white, like, mayonnaise sandwich on Wonder Bread, right?
You're racist.
So here we have yet another Hollywood celebrity, Nick Offerman, who wrote a song for Chlamydia Harris. Well, it's basically anti-Trump, and this is another one of those bizarre Zoom meeting fundraisers that they do. This one's called Comics for Kamala. I think this is the same Zoom meeting that we saw Ben Stiller in yesterday's video. Roll it.
talking, but it's great because I think there are going to be a lot of Republicans who, for obvious reasons, are Kamala curious that are going to be tuning in. And so I've written a song for the evening from the point of view of one of these Republicans that might have once been blind, but now can see a way clear to decency. When he mocked the disabled and war heroes, I looked the other way. He said to march on the Capitol, well, if the president says it's okay. And I don't mind sex with stars, I'd do it too if I had the guts. But when it comes to f***ing the furniture, well, that's just f***ing nuts. So I'm proud to be a Kamala man who has quit the GOP. 'Cause I just can't abide a man who's tried for 34 felonies. And it's time to stand up and face the fact that the men that I once cheered are a bunch of wingnut white nationalists. Well, those guys are f***ing weird.
Your song? It's awful. I hate it.
All right, next up we have this lovely lady who is going to explain to us why Republicans are racist. The comment says, why are Republicans racist? Seems like a very I think that's supposed to say broad. Seems like a very broad statement. Do you have any evidence of this? Roll it.
I'm going to read this comment out loud. Why are Republicans racist? Seems like a very broad statement. Do you have any evidence of this? Do I need evidence? The past 8 years, your party has been the party of the agenda for the white man and the supreme white whatever the that is. You have been bigots. You have been anti-BIPOC. You've been anti-woman. You've been, and we're going to go on. We're not just going to be racist. We're going to be we're just going to be bigots. We're anti-LGBT. You're anti-trans. You're anti-woman, anti-woman, anti-woman. The past 8 years, your rhetoric, Muslim bans. Remember the Muslim ban? Trump put that in like day 1. Yes, you are the party of racists. You weren't always a party of racists. No, but the past 8 years, you absolutely have been. You've been a party of hate. You've been a party of xenophobia. So for you to make a comment like this, like, oh my goodness, how could that even be? That's been your rhetoric for 8 years. If you don't like it, then get out of that party. Don't vote for Trump, because he is the biggest of them all. You people can't stand anything that is not white skin, male, heteronormative bullshit. None of you. So when you come at me with this fucking bullshit, I don't need to pull up articles and facts and statistics to tell you that you are the party of racism. You just are.
What a bitch.
All right, next up we have this lady who wants to apologize for the entire white community simply for being white. Now, let me say this. I believe she's over in the UK, so she doesn't speak for us over here. Trust me, roll it.
Hopefully be a seed of apology from the white community for what we are seeing, because my colleague today said to me, I'm ashamed of being white, and I feel that too. What is happening is awful.
Oh, don't give me that liberal bullshit.
Hey, real quick. Sorry. Before we go any further, I want to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to let this loop on the screen. Now, all I have to say is, I hope this young fella is rehearsing for a play or an acting role. I hope this isn't his everyday attire. Anyway, today's video is being brought to us by Steve Keys. Steve, thank you so much, sir, for sponsoring today's video. I really appreciate the support. And the honorable mention today goes to Bob Rogers, who left a super thanks on the last video. So, Bob, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. So, once again, today's video sponsor is Steve Keys, with the honorable mention going to Bob Rogers. Now, if you'd like to sponsor the next video and help support the channel, there is a PayPal link in the description box below, and I will say your full name as a sponsor of said video unless stated otherwise by you. All right, I think we've seen enough. Get this off the screen, please. Oof.
just seems kind of gay, doesn't it?
Super gay.
All right, next up we have this lovely young lady who is going to tell us why she doesn't use the term good morning. Now, as ridiculous as this is, she's not the only one saying it. We heard it from a different young lady on a video about a month ago. Roll it.
Why you say the term good morning? Let's take it back to the plantation. Good morning was a term that the slave master used when a slave was unalived and the other slaves were in a state of grief, when they were in a state of mourning. They were crying, they were sad. To further taunt the rest of the slaves, the slave master would say, good morning. And then he would want them to say it back. This is why I do not say the term good morning. We say grand risings, rich risings, abundant risings, glorious risings. We do not want to use that verbiage. Mourning literally means sadness. It's very important to know why you use the words you do.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Good morning. Good morning.
All right, guys, we're going to be wrapping it up with this clip of Minnesota State Representative Sandra Feist. Now, let me set this clip up real quick. So, Carmelo Harris's VP pick is Governor Tim Walz of Minnesota. Now, he has garnered the nickname Tampon Tim because he signed a bill putting tampons in all the boys' restrooms in all the schools in Minnesota. Well, this is the young lady that sponsored that bill. Makes sense now, doesn't it? Anyway, things are clearly getting very crazy out there, guys, so please take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Till next time, love you guys. Peace. Roll it.
I would encourage the committee to vote no on this amendment for a few reasons: practical, financial, social, emotional. First, there are a lot of schools that are moving towards gender neutral bathrooms, and if we add female, we might become obsolete very quickly. Second, not all students who menstruate are female. We need to make sure that all students have access to these products. There are obviously less non-female menstruating students, and therefore their usage will be much lower. And that was actually calculated into the cost of this and how much we decided to fund it. And so we do not expect that the non-female menstruating students will use these products as much as the students using female bathrooms, but it's important to have them there. And that brings me to just the social emotional reasons for that. These students who are not female, who menstruate, face a greater stigma and barrier to asking for these products, and so providing them in an easily accessible place in all student bathrooms is particularly important for those students.
What did you say? What the f*** did you just say?
Second, not all students who menstruate are female.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
And you ain't black.